120 kilometers northwest of Nairobi lies an underground resource that lay untapped for many years. Studies have revealed that this rare resource, found within Kenya's Great Rift Valley, has a potential of generating about 10,000 megawatts of electricity. Today, geothermal is Kenya's second largest source of electricity. Part of that resource is found in the geothermal steam fields in Olkaria, the home of geothermal energy in Africa. The Olkaria geothermal steam fields are located on the southern tip of Lake Naivasha, the only freshwater lake in Kenya's Rift Valley. Olkaria is also situated within Hell's Gate National Park and neighbors horticultural farms that produce some of the finest flowers in the world. With an installed generation capacity of 1,818 megawatts, of which over 86% is drawn from clean energy sources, KenGen is currently generating a total of 713 megawatts of electricity from geothermal energy. Today, KenGen is East Africa's largest geothermal electricity generating company, putting Kenya among top 10 geothermal producers in the world. With the completion of the 86-megawatt Olkaria 1 additional Unit 6, KenGen now has 799 megawatts of geothermal energy, which has pushed Kenya to number 6 globally among top geothermal producers in the world.
The completion of the 86 megawatts Olkaria 616 further adds to our already commanding power generation output and will no doubt help us in terms of increasing the reliability of the powering to our homes, to our offices, to our business and the critical infrastructure. This plant represents a big milestone in Kenya's progress towards the 100% utilization of renewable energy by the year 2030.
This has put KenGen as the leading electricity generating company in Eastern Africa region, with an installed generation capacity market share of more than 60%. KenGen's geothermal journey began in thermal field. So far, that journey has culminated in 320 successfully drilled wells in Olkaria and the neighboring Eburu area. KenGen's journey into geothermal power development is in line with the company's aspirations and vision to provide safe, reliable, and competitively priced electric energy for the country in an environmentally friendly and sustainable manner, while creating value for its shareholders.
KenGen's geothermal journey can be traced back to 1950, when it started exploring geothermal electricity generation. KenGen commissioned its first geothermal plant in 1981. That is the 45 megawatts Olkaria 1, consisting of 3 units each, generating 15 megawatts. That plant is now 41 years old. Kenya has an estimated potential of geothermal energy of 10,000 megawatts along the Rift Valley, but we have so far only exploited 826 megawatts as a country. Thus, the potential is huge. Since its inception, we have drilled about 320 geothermal wells as a company.
One of the reasons why KenGen has adopted a geothermal-led strategy to increase generation capacity and create sustainable energy growth is because geothermal energy is renewable, sustainable, reliable, and secure. Our geothermal resource, KenGen engages in geothermal project planning, resource assessment, drilling activities, power generation, reservoir and steam field management and health, safety and environmental protocols.
Geothermal development starts here, and these are fumaroles. They are one of the gold mines for any scientist in the geothermal world, because from here, number one, you already know there is heat from the ground. And number two, it gives you scientific studies. Then we will now come up with the best ways of appraisal drilling. Then from appraisal drilling, then you'll go to production drilling. And after production drilling, now you'll go to financial closure. You need to get now finances to be able to do your power plant. So you can expect to have a power plant. After that is maintenance. And concurrent with the power plant operations and maintenance, then you have the reservoir and steam field team to continue making sure that the reservoir is sustainable, that the output is consistent, that the quality of steam is correct, and of course the injection is correct. Because if any of them fail, then you won't have a power plant running.
KenGen is a center of excellence in geothermal, and this has been recognized of a regional international training with the international accreditation, and that is to ensure that we have sustainability in human resource capacity. But then, aside that, we also a center of excellence for the Association of Power Utilities of Africa, and we offer trainings to, countries, especially those countries within the African Rift.
But how is geothermal energy produced? Geothermal energy is heat derived from the Earth's crust that heats water into steam, where a geothermal well is carefully drilled up to 3,000 meters to harness the steam for electricity generation. The steam is directed to a turbine coupled to a generator, converting kinetic energy into electric energy. The remaining condensed fluid is then re-injected back to the Earth's surface and recycled to start the process again.
Before we drill a well, we start by mobilizing a rig. This takes 10 days to dismantle the machine you see behind me and assemble it again and get it back up. And then after that, we take 55 days to drill the well up to the 3,000 meters. So we drill in several sections, a total of 4 sections. And in the last section, that's where we get steam. So steam is usually between 800 to 3,000 meters, but depending on the well.
We have steam entering the power plant through the demister. This steam is used to roll our Mitsubishi turbine, which is a 7-stage turbine, coupled to a brush generator, which in turn generates at 11 kV. The 11 kV is then stepped up with our main transformer to the national grid through the substation connected to the Suswa substation. We also optimize part of the power we generate to do or to run our auxiliary equipment. After we utilize the steam, we condense it at the condenser, which will help us to circulate the water in the system for our auxiliary cooling and also for sealing processes on most of the auxiliary equipment. We only maintain the adequate amount of condensate we require for this process, where with the help of reinjection pumps, we pump the continuous volume of liquid we continuously condense, we reinject it back to the RAS crust for reservoir optimization.
To make faster and better use of this precious underground resource, KenGen has over the years fostered an innovative approach to early generation by converting readily available steam into electric energy using an advanced technology known as the wellhead technology. The technology helps to realize geothermal power faster compared to the conventional process, which would require construction of the conventional power plants, which take between 5 to 7 years to develop. This facilitates early generation of electricity using the available steam and provides an early revenue stream that is used to drill more wells and contribute to the financing of the main power plant. A case in point is the geothermal power plant in Eburu, which was put up using the wellhead technology.
A wellhead is a small plant. It's a miniature plant of 5 megawatts or 10 megawatts or even 15 megawatts. So you get the steam and the water from the well, you take it to a separator, a cyclone separator. So you can see they start off by starting the fans in the cooling tower, because those are the ones that will cool the condensate. Once the steam has been used to run the turbine, you condense it back to water, and now you have to take it to the cooling tower to cool, and then take it back to the condenser to quench more steam. Every time, all the time, the condenser must be in a vacuum. So that is the objective of the cooling, is to be able to condense that steam so that you evacuate that steam that has flowed through the turbine, and then you get some new steam. It increases the efficiency of the turbine and overall the power plant. And then once we have generated, then we put it in the grid, in the 11 kV grid. Every single megawatt that you generate, you can power 3,000 houses. So the wellhead behind us can generate 5.5 megawatts. The 0.5 is what they use to run the fans that you can see behind us. Okay? So the 5 megawatts net that is export to the grid can power 15,000 houses.
Apart from generation of electricity, one of the unique byproducts of the geothermal energy generation process is brine, a liquid that contains therapeutic geothermal salts that are utilized at the iconic Olkaria geothermal spa before being re-injected into the earth.
The Olkaria geothermal spa is a very unique spa, and it is inspired from the Blue Lagoon of Iceland. So it is the only geothermal spa within the southern hemisphere, and it is a major attraction. We normally receive visitors from across the globe. One of the major aspects of the geothermal spa is the utilization of geothermal energy for recreation and for health wellness. If you can swim every day and take a dip in the pool every day, you'll be 10 years younger. So it's a great inspiration to the nation. It is our gift actually to the nation as KenGen for people to enjoy themselves and learn something new that they can get from geothermal energy.
So in addition, geothermal has also been used for other direct uses. We have a small Parathyroid drying plant at Eburu. This was started in 1939. So the communities have been using that to dry pyrethrum. Of course, it gives longevity to the plant because you can dry, you can keep it. You can also reduce your harvesting period because you can get it out of the farm before, you don't have to wait for the sun. But communities around here, they have also taken advantage of the steam, and they're able to condense the steam and get water, potable water, because this water is coming from the shallow aquifers, of course taking advantage of the steam that is radiated from down there.
Apart from providing a steady and reliable source of power, geothermal generation is also helping Kenya to achieve its commitment of reducing greenhouse gas emission by 30% by the year 2030, while providing the much-needed electric energy for the attainment of the Kenya Vision 2030 goals. At the same time, KenGen has firmed up its path towards carbon neutrality by 2050 by joining the elite list of global multinationals and becoming the first company in Kenya's public sector to commit to Business for 1.50C campaign. Geothermal power generation is at the core of that commitment.
It is important to note that Kenya's energy mix has one of the highest shares of green energy in the world, with up to 90% of green energy being consumed in Kenya on a good day. Today, KenGen's growth strategy is geothermal-led, which will ensure that Kenya remains ahead in the race against climate change. The company is in the process of developing additional capacity in green energy in the medium and long term. I am happy to state that all the future projects in the company's pipeline will be from green and renewable sources, namely geothermal, wind, and solar. To date, KenGen has developed and registered 6 Clean Development Mechanism, that is CDM projects, namely Olkaria 2, Olkaria 1 additional unit, and Olkaria 4, those are geothermal projects. Then Kiambere and Tana, which are hydro projects, and Gong wind power plant. These projects contribute to the reduction of carbon emissions of approximately 1.5 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent on an annual basis. To date, our verified projects have resulted to issuance of about 4.6 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent certified emission reductions. These are called CERs. The truth is that as a country, we have a huge untapped opportunity in the carbon credits market.
For business sustainability and in line with its diversification agenda, KenGen is using its in-house expertise and experience to enable other African countries to exploit their geothermal resource. The company is currently implementing geothermal well drilling contracts in Ethiopia and Djibouti.
We were the first public sector agency to go to the Horn of Africa for business. It is good to know that a decision we made a few years ago by signing our first contract in Ethiopia has helped pave way for others to emulate. We aim to scale up the diversification of our revenue streams through the exploration of regional and local opportunities. So far, we have active contracts in Ethiopia and Djibouti, and for Kenya, this diversification move plays well in the South-to-South partnership, joining other Africans to come up with solutions to our most urgent problems. As KenGen, we will do our part in providing the requisite expertise to make this cooperation possible and economically viable.
KenGen has embarked on a paradigm shift to harness geothermal renewable energy to guarantee the long-term stability and sustainability of Kenya's power generation mix. Tremendous strides have been made over the years, and more is still in the pipeline as far as geothermal power generation is concerned. Like all of KenGen's renewable energy sources, geothermal energy provides an unparalleled response to the energy trilemma of green, clean, and sustainable.